Welcome to the Caddo Convos, the podcast that explores the vibrant community of businesses thriving in Caddo Office Reimagined. We're here to shine a light on the incredible entrepreneurs and professionals who make the most of our private offices, co-working spaces, and day office rentals in the Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs. Join us as we share their stories, celebrate their successes, and dive into the benefits of working in a space that's close to home but offers so much more than working from home. Let's get started with today's conversation. So joining me today on the Caddo Convos podcast is Abhi Vishnu with Lone Star Scholars. Really glad to have you in the studio today.
Glad to be here.
Wonderful. Well, tell me about what is Lone Star Scholars?
So Lone Star Scholars is a North Texas-based, hyperlocal college admissions consulting firm, which provides counseling support services to students in their high school journey. So we bring several firsts to this area. We are face-to-face. We insist on every single interaction being face-to-face. And I think that helps a lot in our while we are dealing with these teenagers. We are also counseling first. And that distinguishes us from a lot of other sort of college prep companies, which are, their model is tutoring first. And this is where we also have to educate our parents sometimes. We bring a lot of experience and accomplishments in academia. So not just at high school level, mentoring students at college, even at the graduate level. So between me and my co-founder, we have done a ton of that. So when a student at high school comes to us and wants to, for example, go to med school, we have mentored students at the med school level. So we can project to them. So this is the path you should be taking, not just for your college admission, but even for the next step, which is college, and for the next 7-8 years of their lives.
Wonderful. And so let's walk back to, when is the best time for the parents and the student to reach out to you?
I would say as early as possible in the high school.
Okay, so basically beginning, say they're enrolling in their freshman year?
Absolutely.
End of their what we call the 8th grade year.
8th or 9th grade. So our services start at the 8th grade. But I would say even if a parent would come to us at the start of the 9th grade, we would have time to work with the student, to mentor them, to bring up the academic transcript to their level, to the level they can apply to any of the highly selective colleges and be a competitive candidate there.
And do you work with both the student one-on-one together with the family? Like what's the dynamic there, and how often are the touch points?
So it depends on the family. Some students are more independent than others. We want to see the student taking charge as we progress in the journey. But of course, some of the parents also want to be there in the room. Many of them, they also need education to help interactions while they are off our location, like at home, at the dining table. So that helps when the parent is also educated. And so we have two tracks. One of them is more high touch as compared to the other. So I would say once a month to twice a month.
Okay. Talking about the range of families that you're engaged with.
Absolutely. So, and this also depends on the area that we are working in. So this is Collin County, which is probably one of the higher educated counties, not just in Texas, but all of the country. So we have a lot of college educated professionals here working. So in our practice here, we have only got college educated parents. But also, as we know, there are a lot of immigrant population here. And even though they are college educated, but they have not gone to school in the US. So it's an interesting mix there. The kid was born here, or sometimes the kid is also was born in another country. They came here, but the parents are highly educated, but they're not much aware of the college admission process in the U.S.
And that's very different from, well, I imagine the U.S. is very different. Any country is different from the next country.
Absolutely.
What would you say are the hurdles that many experience with admissions in the United States?
I think the biggest one is understanding the holistic admission process. So many of us come from countries where there is like an entrance exam. So you prepare for an entrance exam like maybe a year, 2 years, sometimes even 3 years, and you take it. That's your D-Day, essentially, and that determines the rest of your life. Uh, the US education system, and I love the US education system, including the admission process, it's much more holistic. So no one single day determines your career, your journey, your life. Like you can have a bad day at the SAT, but still make it to a college of your choice. So that's something we have to educate a lot of parents on.
So the factors are, exams, general your GPA,
Yes.
and what else? I mean, because there are essays, and you said holistic. That means the whole person.
Absolutely. So there is a certain tragic or hierarchy of importance of characteristics. So most important, I would say, is the academic transcript, and which includes the kind of courses that you have taken, as well as how you have performed in those courses. So your GPA, the standardized tests are very important, including the SAT, and there are other ones which are acceptable. Then comes the holistic part of the process, which is like how's the character, how's the extracurricular profile, like what are the passions, how's the student performed over high school, outside the school.
Interesting. So checking all of those boxes and educating both the student at a young age, ideally, and the family while their student is at a young age, because then they can assess, and I'm sure you help with this, assessing who they are as a person
Absolutely.
and which of those areas they can succeed in. So,
Absolutely.
so talk to me about that part of the program.
Yes. I insist on deeply understanding every single student of mine. So first several weeks or months, I just spend on trying to understand their strengths, their weaknesses, and this includes not just the student but also the family. Like they might have some inherent connections we can leverage, to get the student to do some activities. So I try to understand that as well. So not just strengths and weaknesses, but value systems. So those kind of things we deeply understand. And then I also do an aptitude assessment, just to see if the interests of the student or the goals of the student is matching with what their inherent strengths are. So, for example, if a student is quantitatively gifted but wants to go into humanities, that would trigger a conversation for me to understand, do you really want to go into humanities? And if you do, that's very welcome. But I just want to bring that conversation up as well.
Right. Assess your skills versus your goals, your natural skills versus your goals, your aptitude
Absolutely.
versus what your attitude, I guess you could say. Tell me, so you're here in Collin County, and you chose Caddo Office Reimagined for your location. Why?
I think this is a perfect location, both in terms of the office space, it suits our needs perfectly, but also if I say within the Collin County, the kind of target population that I have for our service, this would be probably in the center of that geographic area. Uh, but let me come to the business location, the office location first. We have, as a college admissions counseling, the kind of services I would provide, this is a perfect place for that. We have one office to have one-to-one meetings, and we also have conference rooms, which we can use to have, say, some of the in-group sessions, or if we were to perform some extra in-person seminars, we can do that as well.
That's terrific. And since you can host those, when you engage families or groups of families, how do you educate them and get them into the program, from making sure they understand that it's right for them?
So right now we are focusing on educating through, I've started to do a blog, on my it's on the website, but also I've reached out to, like, there are families that subscribe to that, and I would like to believe it is turning out to be helpful. Uh, so that's our primary focus right now. But we are still young in the marketing arena, so we are figuring out our way of reaching out to more families in the area.
From a personal perspective, you were young at one point and looking into your academic future. Did you have someone, and it could have been a family mentor or someone, guiding you like your business is guiding other families and students?
I wish I had.
Yeah.
I made some of the terrible choices.
There is help. Tell me the best way to reach you, if they're listening and are ready to engage and learn more.
I think the best way to reach us is through booking a free consultation with us through our website. You can get my calendar there. It's super easy. Just put in your email and look at the calendar, set an appointment, and we are set for a meeting.
And how often do you host in-person informatives, like you mentioned the events?
So our first would be coming sometime in early summer.
Okay.
And I can tell you, we are planning something to introduce high school students to basic research. So, yeah.
So, and I imagine you'll have those, you'll continue to develop those and have them more often as needed.
Absolutely.
That's excellent. So if you're listening, everything he's given me is going to be in the show notes. So just scroll down, find the website, and go from there. Tell me about what you would tell. Let's go back in time. You're doing what you're doing now, but you're talking to your parents of a child that is you. What would you tell them that they don't know what they don't know right now, and how you can help them get to the status that this child deserves?
Absolutely. And this has already come up in our still young business. So many of the students here, they want to go for the best colleges. Like they look at the online rankings, and there are tons of them, and they want to be in the top 10, the top 20s. And I want to, and even though I support them as much as I can for going to the top colleges, I want also for them to realize that it's not just a ranking, it's also the fit that matters. Like, do you really do you want to be in an urban area or a rural area, or do you want to be in the north, like as compared to like in the south? Do you want to be in that cold versus do you want to be in a college town? So look at those factors as well, and not just which is like rank 4 in the US or the globally. I just want to, so I would love my students to be very aware, and when they make that decision, it's not just on the ranking, but also on the fit.
You'll thrive well in an environment that fits you as a person, right?
Yes.
Not just the academic environment, but where you are if it's snowing.
Absolutely.
If you don't like cold, don't go to where it's cold.
And thrive is a word I use in every single conversation of mine. Thrive.
So I can see the energy that you have here. So clearly you have a passion for working with youth.
I think over the years, I've realized I just love working with these young minds, starting from like 14 years of age to around 18, 19. So essentially the teenage years. It fills me with joy when I see them, progressing, developing from a child to an adult, not just physically, but also mentally, making those decisions, getting that independence. So even now, like at Lone Stars, we have made that difference that when I make some recommendation and their eyes just sparkle, that makes my day. So this is the reason I'm here.
It's been wonderful talking to you. Parting thoughts for people who still aren't sure, what they can do, and they at least admit they don't know what they don't know.
I would say the commonest advice I have to give to many of my families is stop looking for advice from Instagram on college admissions. It's just, it can distract you from what is needed.
That's excellent. Well, it's been great having you here. I love what you do for families. There's standardized education, but what's the next step? And that's a big question for a lot of people, like you said. So it's really great that you're filling that gap for this local area.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us today on the Caddo Convos podcast. A huge shout out to our incredible network of members for making our community vibrant and supportive. If you're looking to boost your productivity and reduce the isolation of working from home, consider joining us at Caddo Office Reimagine. Our spaces are designed to meet your evolving needs, support remote work, and foster a sense of community that's hard to find at home. Whether you're a startup aiming for growth, a freelancer seeking a professional setting, or a company looking to optimize resources, Caddo offers a perfect blend of flexibility and innovation. By joining us, you'll be a part of a dynamic business ecosystem that helps you thrive. For more information, visit caddooffices.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Caddo Convos.